Yeah, there's definitely a change going on, that's for sure. We have an old established culture, and now with the influx of new employees, almost probably a 50% turnover, we're seeing a new culture coming in here.
We're hiring 150 people a year, mainly because of retirement right now.
We did have a long period of time where there was basically no turnover, very senior workforce.
In some of the crews, we're seeing virtually the entire crew is turned over already.
We have to transfer knowledge. I've seen much effort put into getting the training systems upgraded so that workers have the best chance of gaining new information from the workers that are leaving.
Basically, you take them and you tell them straight up, okay, your job is to get out of here alive. So let's do it. Take our time and think before we do anything. And again, ask questions.
When I first came up, I felt that I was going to be very intimidated working in a brand new work environment. But the crews have actually been really good in kind of taking me under their wing, and they are actually excited to see the newer, younger guys coming onto the workforce.
Some of the guys that you would have thought would never take a young person under their wing, they're taking care of them. They're making sure they're not in harm's way.
I can think of one from my tour yesterday where I had a quick meeting in the plant with a pipe fitter who didn't have an apprentice, and he was asking me, well, why can't he have an apprentice as well? Because he was, I don't know, I think he was eager to have somebody who he could pass his knowledge on to, and who he could also look after and protect.
I know some of the dads of the apprentices, and I personally wouldn't want to look them in the eye and say, I'm sorry that your son got hurt, or worse.
A lot of them are all my dad's age. They probably don't want me to say that, but they've done a good job at making us feel comfortable here, for sure. When I first got here, I was really nervous. You know, we're using cranes nonstop and stuff that's extremely heavy, and if it falls, it will kill you.
They're very patient with you, and were always with me, and always said, you know, if you have any questions.
I feel like I can ask any question, and the guys I work with will answer it.
And when they tell you there is no dumb question, they're lying to you. There is, and that's one you don't ask. Tradesmen will respect an idea if you bring it forward. So if you see me doing something and you want to try something different, you tell me what it is. If it's something that I know is wrong, I'll explain to you why. If it isn't, if it's something that we can try that's new, and we find out it's easier, better, and safer, then we'll implement it as the way we do our job.
Being new here and coming alongside workers that have been here for a while, it's just an extreme value in the experience that they've had. And I'm sure it's been experience in doing things proper and right, and also seeing things when they go wrong and learning from those instances.
In the early 80s, I was a plant worker in the cadmium plant when I was the first person to assist a worker that had lost his arm in an injury. It was very devastating for us as co-workers, as well as obviously for that worker. It definitely changed the way we looked at our machinery at that time and the processes we used to do our work.
Just last week, I had to shut down the job. And night shift was, training didn't seem quite right, and so on, and I just canceled it. So it had definitely an impact on production. And everybody, from the superintendent all the way up, was like, made the right decision.
The boss is always saying, if you see anything, tell me. Most of the journeymen are that way, and they're just telling us not to be afraid to say what we think.
Definitely what I like about here is the new employees are more adamant about safety.
If a kid comes in and says, I don't think that's safe, and an old guy like myself, maybe bad habits, says, oh, I'll do it. You know, that kid looks bad for no reason. He's actually the right one.
One instance I can think of is just operating a forklift, and one of the loads that we were loading up, I particularly didn't feel very safe with how it was secured on. And one of the other guys who's more experienced says, oh, I can do that, you can do that, no problem. And I'm just like, no, I'll make 2 trips. So, we just lessened the load, and it was stable, and it got done a little bit longer, but I felt more comfortable and safe doing so.
I like to think that I'm not a scary person to be approached, and I keep an open mind to any of the concerns that they might have, and I've never really been one to to disregard what somebody is saying.
When somebody steps forward and brings an issue forward, I think we have to thank that person and, praise that person.
Sometimes we get into a situation where a journeyman or an older employee has looked at something the same way for many years, and we come in with a fresh set of eyes, and sometimes we challenge it.
So the new guys need to be comfortable enough and have the courage to ask the questions to be better. And those who have been here a while have the courage to listen and be open to new ideas.
I think that the safety culture has improved. There is a lot more responsibility.
It's forcing all of us to step back and say, the way we've always done it, is it the best way? Is it the safest? Is it the most productive? Is it the most efficient?
It's especially nice for people who've been here a long time. They've become experts and masters in what they're doing. And in the later years of their career, they're in a great position to be able to mentor and teach those new people coming in.
We recently had a day here entitled Tech Trades in Action Day. We brought in grade 8 and 9 students. They had an opportunity to have some hands-on experience.
At first, we had a lot of the older boys not wanting to, oh, what are the kids going to come in here and learn? And it wasn't about them learning anything except for what it's like to work in the industry, and the kids really enjoyed it, and a lot of the older generation ended up having just as much fun as the rest of us.
The joy and the happiness and the engagement and the involvement that I saw with our tradespeople here was just unbelievable. Well, I had one comment from a father who wrote me a note and said that my son attended this today. He's never really considered a trade career. Don't know if he'll take a trade career in the future, but he hasn't stopped talking about it.
Well, the Tech Trades in Action Day was very fun because we got to experience what we wanted, like what was interesting to us. And I think that I got 10 times more interested when I got to do it.
It was really nice to see the kids excited about what we do, and they were absolutely intrigued with everything. And this hammer right here, we blew up an apple for them, so that was their favorite thing in here.
Not only did these kids see the quality of our tradespeople and what they do here and the varied work and the really interesting work that they do, but they also saw the attention and the detail that they give to working safely, because every aspect of what they did, the first thing they did was they reviewed all the safety things that they needed to do. And I'm so proud of how our tradespeople here represented that.
I guess what I can offer the young fellas is just a little bit of wisdom. And I think what they bring to the workplace is stronger technical skills. Together, we're making a pretty effective team.
Whether you're fresh or you've been here for 30 years, 40 years, it makes no difference. There's always something to learn.
I'd like to see them be able to work in a safe place that they can work for 30 years or 40 years and leave intact, maybe even better than they came.
They're my family. They're my family away from home. And like any family, you want to look after them.
When I walk through that gate in the morning, I'm not coming here to get hurt, and I don't want to see anybody else around me get hurt. So if I can do anything to make it a better place to work, then I'll do it.